Hello and welcome to the 2020 North Umpqua Invitational, brought to you by Discs and hosted by the tournament director Scott Withers, and brought to you by CH Sports, bringing you coverage here and commentating from myself, DJ Herrington, and Jared Gogol. Jared, how you doing, man?
Oh, I'm doing good. Just excited to get this commentary rolling. I just want to say thank you to Pac-West Disc Golf and CH Sports and AGL Discs for having us on here and sponsoring the event.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to jump right into it here. We have Justin Anderson representing Discmania, Chandler Fry, sponsored by Discraft, Cole Redalen, who is, I believe, sponsored by Oregon Health Sports, and myself, who I'm not sponsored, but I'm out there.
I'll get that going and I'll send you guys off.
We got Zaq Jones giving us the players meeting. Shout out to Zaq Jones. Justin Anderson first on the tee here, throwing one of his putters, I believe. Hole one's a good hole to get started here at Whistler's. What's the play on hole one for you, Jared?
Hole one is a Discraft Challenger TI plastic. I just try to throw it straight and hopefully land short of the basket. Every time I play this, so I seem to go long into the trees for some reason, but I don't know. I think I got this hole both days, and I was pretty stoked about it.
And myself next up on the box here. I'm throwing a Discmania P2.
Man, those orange pants look so good on you, buddy.
Thank you, thank you. Had to bring them out. It was a little warm. Wanted to keep the skin covered. It's a different play. A lot of people were giving me grief for wearing pants, but it really helps keep the sun off the legs and the heat. Next, we got Cole Redalen here. What was that?
It also keeps the poison oak off your legs as well. It's very common out here.
Absolutely. And Cole just off left here, leaving himself about a 40, 50 footer there. Myself from probably about 40 here. Cole lining up his putt.
You know, watching that camera guy totally razzed Cole there on his putt.
A little bit there. Having the camera guy, you gotta sometimes take an extra second because they're rushing to get behind you, rushing to get the angle of, putting in the basket. And sometimes when you have the camera, you just gotta slow down a little bit because they're running around and you can't help but, scuffle and break sticks as you're trying to do that. As Chandler and Justin Anderson getting their birdies on hole one, and my mistake, I had them mixed up at first, I believe. But as we move into hole two has a couple plays through the woods here. What are you doing on this hole, Jared?
I'm throwing my most overstable Firebird as hard as I can on a forehand so that it gets through the gap and skips up next to the bucket.
Yeah, and we see Chandler electing to play kind of the unorthodox play on this hole and to throw the Annie route through the traditional forehand gap, but it skips right up to by the basket in the circle there. As Chandler is throwing his, I believe his Donkey Kong, Amy Lewis died, FD3, and getting a little bit of a bad roll out there, but not too bad. And myself, I'm throwing a 2019 Sexton Firebird. Just trying to do exactly like you were saying and get it in the gap, skip up there, and I get a little bit of a rollout, but not too bad, still in the circle. Cole next up here. Throwing something super stable.
I believe that's the Discraft Z Machete super overstable mold.
Yeah, and we'll see him throw that a few times throughout the day here. Definitely one of his go-tos on forehand there. As Justin comes up a little bit short on this putt. Is Cole having a little bit of early jitters going on, hitting back-to-back cage hits there. It's tough going to start, but he'll get up and down. As I hit my birdie there from about 20, 25 feet after the rollout. Chandler for a birdie as well. And Ando will be tapping in his 4. Tough to get as you get going here. What's your play as you approach Whistler's starting on hole 1 as you get going through the woods here? What do you want to come out of the woods through, 4 holes? Or what's your goal?
I mean, Whistler's, if you try to bite off too much, even on any hole, you could really, the course could really kill you. It could just take everything from you. You could roll out 100 feet, or you could go 4 for 4. Honestly, my goal is to just be 50% through the first 4. I feel like that's a really solid start.
Yeah, that's definitely fair to go 2 for 4 there, and the first 3 are absolutely gettable. And as we move into hole 3, Chandler throws and misses the main gap there, but ends up getting down all the way to the green area. And there's a couple different routes, or not really a couple different routes, but the main route is through the main gap, and he just happened to sneak through and get lucky there.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness. Could have been a whole lot worse.
As Cole has a little bit of an early release, and Ando throwing his putter.
Oh, wow. Go my line.
And taking the same line as Chandler there, a little bit off of the main gap, but still works when you punch through.
Cole is just hitting all sorts of the basket first 3 holes.
Yeah, he's really all over it. As Ando's lining up his 2, and oh no.
Get in the river.
Oh, goodbye. Ugh. And like you were saying, that is a very common theme here. A lot of baskets on sloped greens. If you hit basket and miss a putt, there's a lot of times that it's going to roll out. Sometimes you don't want to hit the basket when you miss, and it's better, and you won't roll out. as Chandler knocks in his third birdie in a row to pick up the turkey. And myself putting here trying to keep pace.
Sick putt.
And Cole for his 3. And Ando tapping in the tough bogey there after a roll out that rolled him out to longer than what his original putt was, and that's what Whistler's Bend can do to you sometimes. But Chandler and myself birdie, and Chandler going 3 for 3 here to start. I am 2 down, moving into hole 4. Hole 4, tough hole. A couple different plays you can do. You can throw a backhand Anheuser or a hard forehand. What are you doing here, Jared?
Trying to survive. That's pretty much what it is, is survival on that hole. You hit the initial gap and you're pretty stoked. If you get a birdie, you're also very stoked. Sometimes with a par, you're pretty stoked.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you see Chandler step up, and he throws a great shot. He stepped up and said he was just going to throw this disc as hard as he can in hopes that he hits the gap. And he does just that, as I step up and throw my P2 and don't quite get the angle on it and hit a tree early. Not ideal, but not too bad. Cole throwing the traditional play, the forehand here, as well as Ando playing the traditional forehand route. Showing us how it's done there. Great
Donkey
shot by
Kong.
Ando.
Donkey Kong hitting chains there.
Yeah, DK. Ando's always announcing when he's like, hey, I'm throwing DK. So I'm lining up my par here from about 50 feet down the hill. And get the very unfortunate spit out dead through the heart.
Whistler's baby.
Yeah, you almost expect one around on these baskets. If you're not putting on the disc catchers and through the 18, you almost it's not like bound to happen, but it's not out of question. And if one happens around, that's okay, and you just accept it at that.
Nice little replay for Cole there. That was the first putt where he actually reached towards the basket. Solid form.
Yeah, and Cole has a really solid putt. As you don't see very many cards throughout a tournament at Whistler's that you have 3 birdies on that hole. So for Ando, Chandler, and Cole all to get birdies on that hole is very impressive. As we move into hole 5, we get into the real teeth of Whistler's. You see Chandler feeling the wind, seeing what it's doing coming off the river. A lot going on here.
Yeah, it looks like he expected that to flip, and then he kind of pansied it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you want the disc to flip up slightly here. It's about a 420-foot shot or so. You want it to flip up, but not too much, because you always bring that river into play if you want to, flail it out right too far, as well as that madrone on the right does come into play if you grip lock it. And, that it's a super tough hole. You really want to try to keep it low and straight for as long as you can.
Right. What's that disc you're throwing there, DJ?
So that is a Champion T-Bird that I pulled out of the box from a while ago. It has, my old buddy's name on it, not even my name. It's got still the sticker stuff from Play It Again back in the day, but it's a good T-Bird, flips up for me, and I can throw it a long ways. It's got a lot of glide. as Cole lining up his birdie there from about 80, 90 feet with the standstill. Chandler laying up as well from deep left. Myself tapping in my birdie from about 20 feet down the hill there.
Peyton Manning tapping in for par.
The man himself.
The man himself. Quack, quack.
And on hole 5, I'm picking up that birdie to steal back that spit through that I had there. Get back to 2 under. Chandler's sitting at 4 down. Cole sitting at 1 under, and Ando's sitting at even as we move into hole 6. Tough play here. Really tough hole. What are you doing?
I was throwing a dead leopard on hyzer straight at the gap and watching it flip up and turn right. And I had success on the shot. I birdied it both rounds, and the disc came off really well. And you kind of just aim at the middle of the gap and you just pray, really.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's almost disc selection more than anything. You're just choose the right disc that if you throw it flat, it's going to go right. You know, you throw it in the middle of the gap, like you were saying, it's going to hit the initial gap and hopefully skip towards the basket.
Yeah. What Chandler and Cole just did is super common on this hole.
Yeah, really common to hit early and bounce left or hit late and hit left. And the left is never good. It's better the further up the fairway you get, however. You can get a look at the basket from the left side. But as you can see, Cole didn't have much there. He's just laying up for his 3. I have about a 50, 60 footer here, giving a little bit of a run. Chandler for his 2 from about 50, 60 feet here. A little bit of a tough footing, had some grass in the way there, kind of a tough deal.
Peyton Manning calling Omaha there and getting the 2. The tough hole.
Yeah, absolutely picking up the first down there.
Heck yeah.
As you'll see, everyone else tapping in for their 3s here. And Ando with the lone 2. As we move into hole 7 of Whistler's Bend, give a quick shout out to Pac-West Disc Golf and stay on the lookout for the lead card coverage presented by CH Sports of the Pac-West Classic. That will be coming soon. So subscribe and stay tuned. As we head into hole 7 here, we have the downhill hole with the river as the backdrop. Few different things you can do. What's your approach on this hole?
I try to throw my TI Challenger. I try to hit the drop zone and watch it skip forward because you know that grass is really dead towards the bucket, and just hope I don't go off the cliff and swimming.
Absolutely, and I'm going with the same play here. And I just missed that drop zone spot on the flat. And as you can see, I scuttle all the way down the hill, out of bounds, almost to the river.
Oh, come on.
As Chandler was electing to throw in something a little bit more stable there on an Annie low to try to have it flatten out and get a skip play even earlier than the drop zone and to try to stay on the flat up top, I believe. As Cole throws almost the exact same shot as I did, but stays up.
People don't realize how hard that upshot is that Andrew just had.
Yeah, it's super tough. That backdrop it's like putting on ice pretty much. If it hits anything, as you can see, my disc is just wanting to keep moving forward. That dead grass really doesn't stop it much. As Cole just off right on his birdie look there from down the hill. Probably about 30 feet. Chandler tapping in his par. As well as Cole. Great up and down by Ando there to get a par from down in the woods. A lot of times that's Bogeyville. And as we go into hole 8, Chandler's sitting at 4 down. The rest of us at 1 under par. Hole 8 clocking in at the easiest hole on the course here. It's about 220 feet around this first tree, just a slight hyzer sitting right in between these two trees. Super easy, really expecting to get a birdie here. It's one you want to get. Chandler looks like he puts it close. Cole, I believe, throwing a zone there. And myself, I'm throwing the 2020 Withers Gator. A little bit more glide than my other Gator. I can throw it backhand a little bit more and try to put it in the circle there.
Cole with a pretty good putt there from about 28 feet.
Yeah, good putt by Cole after giving a little ace run, actually. Good putt by Chandler to get to 5 under par.
Chandler's off to a super solid start. That's like more than respectable in terms of the front 9. You always want to. That's a super solid score to going into the hill here in a couple holes.
I like almost bumped.
We get a star frame there, and yeah, I absolutely agree. Going 5 through 8 at your first, to start off Whistlers and to start off, a pretty big tournament down here. It's a B tier, but it's gained a lot of prestige through the years because, people love playing it. The AMs get great players packs. And, the pros, it's a, top level disc golf in Oregon. So to start out a tournament 5 through 8 always feels good.
Yeah, this is definitely my second favorite course in the state of Oregon. My first favorite course is the Milo 36 in the Beaver State Fling layout. It just doesn't get much better than those. It's just these two courses both have no OB lines. You're either in the road or you're not, or you have natural OB off the fairway with very tough upshots. So it's hard disc golf. It's not finicky. It's true, and usually the best player wins every time on this course as well as with Milo. So
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And these are truly two of the best courses in the world, I believe, and we have a couple gems here in Oregon, and we're really lucky to have them. As we move into hole 9, it's our last hole on the front 9 here. This hole plays about 430 feet. You're really just trying to get it over the hill, as you see where everybody's throwing their upshots from. As Ando gives it a really good run there for his 2.
That's fine.
Yeah, he threw it right in the bread basket, and just the receiver couldn't catch it.
Yeah. But as we're all tapping in for our pars here, we give a shout out to CH Sports for coming out and filming, as well as AGL Discs for coming out, and give a quick shout out to Jerry Miller at Disc Golf Depot for sponsoring the video. Hit him up for all of your disc golf needs in the Portland area. And after 9 holes, we're going to have Ando sitting at 2 down, Cole Redalen at 2 down, Chandler Fry at 5 under through 9, and myself, DJ Herrington, at 2 down through 9. We will catch you on the middle 9, and that'll be coming out soon. So thank you guys for coming out and listening. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next 9. Have a good night, Jared.
Yeah, you too, DJ. It was fun commentating with you.